Okay. Okay. So, so like we went over a lot of the stuff yesterday, but just like the main ideas is, tarot's been around for 3,500 years. So what we're going to be going through are the different associations that have been made with only the suit of swords throughout history so that we can get kind of like an overall view of the suit and how those representations and ideas apply to every card in the suit of swords. So that's our main focus. And then the information that I'm getting, we also on the Discord have the full download PDF version of this book, and that is where the graph and all of the information is from. If you'd like to go more in depth, there's lots of books on tarot. You can definitely jump in, ask any questions, but this is also there and available for you.
Which book? What's it called?
Tarot, A New Handbook for the Apprentice by Eileen Connolly. It's at the very top, or I think I pinned it. Did I not even put it? Oh, there it is. I'll pin it. I'm going to pin it in the Tarot Study Group text channel.
Okay. I think I see it here.
Yeah, and that book is one of the OG classics. So I don't know if you have a tarot section in your Discord library, Khadijah, but that's a really good one.
Okay. I could definitely take your recommendations and make a little section because I have people ask me questions about tarot all the time, and I'm like, I am a novice at tarot. Ask me all the astrology questions you want to, but I don't trust my tarot knowledge.
Right. Well,
to teach anybody anything.
One thing that's cool. So we're talking about Khadijah's astrology server on Discord, guys. Which I believe once you follow her on TikTok, you'll be able to see the link to that. We can send you the link too once you're in our Discord. But she has an astrology Discord, and this particular book does have all the astrology associations for each card, so it would still like tie in, which is nice. It's not just tarot. Okay. Yeah, it does have all the astrological associations for each card.
Very nice.
Yeah. Hey, Beach Girl. Nice to see you. Okay, so we'll get into it. I'm gonna stop I'm like putting my rings on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, no worries, Bonnie. Yeah, we can send you the link. We can send you the link to it. And you'll just have to like copy and paste the link probably or type it because I don't know if you can copy paste from the DMs in TikTok. They're kind of weird. Okay. So for swords, for the suit of swords, remember the main representation is like the key. That is what we want to look at as being the main theme that's going to be involved in every single card in that that's going to be involved in every single card in that suit. Okay? So the main key, main representation is struggle and animosity. So every card in the suit of swords has that underlying theme in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then the English suit, the like normal playing card suit that you would see for swords is spades. Makes sense. It's like the only one in there that's like a really pointy sword type object. So that makes sense to me. Yeah. And then the French suit would be pikes. And pikes, no, it's good. We got to go through them all, Vincent. Um, so pikes is for what the French suit of swords was called, which again makes sense because that's like their version of the weapon. And the
Mm-hmm.
Italian suit was also swords. And then the German symbol for swords are leaves. So that makes sense to me because it's the only thing that is pointy of all the German symbols of the different suits. And then the
Okay.
season that it represents is autumn. And then because the season is autumn, the fixed astrological sign that represents swords is Scorpio. And then the element representing swords is the air element. And the cardinal point that is associated with swords throughout history is north. Then the sacred name, sacred word is vow or V, it's the letter V, and that's the Kabbalistic association. I don't know too much about that, but there's more in the book. And then the esoteric force that's associated with swords is union of above forces. So I look at that as being very much associated with its air element association. And then in mythology, the animal that's associated with swords is, I think it's supposed to say glyph, kind of like a griffin, I believe. I'll show you a picture when we go
Okay.
through the different suits. And then in ancient, or I'm sorry, yeah, in ancient Celtic, the association for swords is ego. So how we looked at pentacles, the association was like your body. For swords, it's your ego, or like we would kind of be first house if we were looking at astrology, but it's like you guys know what ego is. And then in alchemy, it is associated with sulfur, whereas before we were looking at salt with pentacles. So to me, sulfur makes sense because it is, again, when you burn it, it's very much associated with the air element, the sulfur properties, all the air element stuff.
Also, that would make sense to me in the sense that you said it's like the malefic one, it's the bad guy
Yeah.
set. And like the number one thing I think of when I think of sulfur is hell.
Yep.
Like,
Absolutely.
so it's like, okay, suffering. You want to make suffering really clear? Bring up sulfur. I have no other associations with that other than like literal chemistry or hell. Like those are the only options.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense. And then the junction, which I look at, is like it's like the verb that's associated with swords. Like what's the verb or the modality, like the action word that's associated with it is thinking. So the thinking is pretty much very historically often associated with the air element. So it ties into that. The thinking and the air element both go very much hand in hand. And then the Episcopal association is with the cross. The activity that is associated with the suit of swords is conquest. So conquest, like conquering, again, coming back into that struggle animosity main theme that you can kind of see throughout all of these, most of these that would have like that property available. And then the principle associated with it is triality. Word I very seldomly use, but a very cool word. So triality, the whole process of going through trials and tribulations, and then the human class associated with it, which is kind of like the human personality type. Remember in the last one, it for Pentacles, it was the humanitarian, which makes sense. The humanitarian is very much Aquarius, which is the fixed sign that was associated with Pentacles. So with Swords, we have it associated with the warrior. So the struggle, animosity, the conquering, it really ties in. That personality type really ties into all the different things we look at with that suit. Does that make sense? Do you guys have any questions? How those things kind of like associate and go together with every card that's in every sword card?
My only comment is that it's a little jacked up to be associating air signs with this much trouble. Like, I know they can be a little chaotic, but damn.
Yeah, I know, for real. I think like it makes sense to me because cups is where you have the water, and the water and the cups are all emotion. So it's like okay, so you pretty much have to pick between fire and air, and the fire they picked to be more of like a motivating force, I think, in the end. So it's like, okay, air is just like after it's all gone up in smoke. Yeah, perfect. Manda says ties into wars, Mars and wars. Body says makes sense. Excellent.
Makes a lot of sense. I'm learning a lot already.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So we'll leave that up there. And then we'll go through the cards in the Suit of Swords from the traditional Waite-Smith deck, and we'll check out how the different elements that we just mentioned, how the different associations here, how we can see those in the different cards. So we're not really looking at the specific meaning of every card. We're just looking at how it ties into this struggle, animosity, overall theme that every card will have in it. And we're going to start with the ace and just go through in order. Well, maybe I'll do this so you guys can see the cards. A phone call. There. Now you can see them a little better. Okay, so the Ace of Swords, we're looking at the air element aspect of it. You can see the clouds here look a little bit more like smoke in this card than they did in the Pentacles card where we were looking at the earth element. We still have some plants up here, but see here, they're not attached to anything. They're just kind of floating in the air. We have a lot of gray in the background of this card. So I see a lot of air elements there. And then the 2, if we look at this, her outfit is all white. So very much like the air element. She's got the swords pointing up straight in the air. The ground is also gray. So that invokes a lot of the air element aspects to me. And then 2, like this one doesn't necessarily look like struggle or animosity, but these plants are cut. Like they're not attached to anything, and there's leaves and things falling down. And then here, like she's holding big pointy things with a blindfold on. So like there's some struggle and animosity there, along with a lot of those air element aspects. And then we have this.
Instead of being on the ground in mine, there's like a woman levitating with the 2 swords in front of her, and her hair is blindfolding her.
Yeah, so see even more of the air element. She's floating in the air. in that one.
Mm-hmm. And they have two moons. She has like a moon earring and her moon, and there's like she's floating in front of the moon. That's how you can tell it's like she's floating in the air because she's in front of the moon.
Yep. And then the three of swords, it's a heart that's floating in the air. The background of the card is all gray, so you have a lot of the air element aspect of that. And struggle and animosity, I mean, these swords are piercing the heart, so that does not look like a fun day.
Anguish, heartbreak.
Yeah.
That's the themes in my suit in my book
Yep.
for that one.
Yep.
I'm like, well, that's harsh.
Yep. And then after we go through the Waite Smith deck, I have like over 20 decks. We're going to go through the different pictures from different artists.
Oh, we're going to do pictures after. Okay, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just mentioning it. And then if you guys have any different decks other than the Waite Smith deck, we want to check them out. So the Four of Swords, for the air elements, yellow oftentimes is a color that's associated with air. That's at the bottom of the card. And then the gray background, again, very much air element oriented. And for struggle and animosity, I mean, this pretty much looks like a coffin, like someone who's like maybe been lost. So that's like struggling. Doesn't look like great. And then here for the 5, the air, the sky, we've got a lot of gray clouds in the sky. So I feel like that's a color that they keep bringing in often into the air to bring in that air aspect of the suit of swords. For animosity and struggle, this guy looks like he's pretty happy, but maybe coming back to that conquest, warrior conquering energy, because this person looks like they're crying. This person doesn't look like they're having a great time either. So maybe this is where we're seeing some of that warrior conquering energy coming in. And then the 6 of Swords, we have the gray air, gray sky again. And these people don't look very happy either. It looks like they're having some kind of struggle or maybe animosity. Their heads are bowed, heads are lowered, moving away from something. And then the 7 of Swords, we've got the yellow again. So the yellow is another color really heavily associated with the air elements. And he doesn't necessarily look like he's extremely unhappy, but carrying 5 swords at one time does look like it's a struggle, and he looks like he would love to pick up a couple more. So that struggle animosity, you really see it come out in that card. Again, the air element with that gray background for the 8 of Swords, and the struggle, she looks like she's tied up. It looks like she's got a blindfold on. So a lot of those things look like struggle and animosity to me. Even the buildings behind her, where we had so much material prosperity that we were looking at in the Pentacle suit, here we see it with struggle and animosity suit being not as defined, much more maybe beaten down. And then the 9 of Swords, I don't see as much of the air element, except that the swords are all hung above him in the air. But the struggle and animosity really looks apparent in this person who looks so unhappy. And then a lot of the bedding has the yellow. And then the 10 of Swords, we've got the yellow that really brings out and brings up the air element. And then with the struggle and animosity, he does not look like he's having a great day. So that's definitely a struggle, and maybe he encountered some animosity. The Page of Swords, there's a lot of the gray clouds, and he has yellow kind of undergarments on everything that he's wearing. So that brings in a lot of the air element. Also, these trees in the background look like they're blowing in the wind. We have quite a few birds up here. Birds and feathers are great representation of the air element. Even the earth down here, this is the first time we've seen earth that has yellow incorporated into it. His hair and his what's going on up here is also really showing that there's a lot of wind and air blowing in the wind. So the Knight of Swords, wow, he looks, remember the other knight that we looked at with pentacles was really like that solid, perpetuating looking knight, like almost solid as a rock, like a stone force. And then this knight, it looks like he's flying through the air almost. This horse looks like he's not even running, almost just flying. Again, we've got lots of wind indicated in these fast moving clouds and the trees that are blowing around. The knight himself, if you look up in his on what's coming out of his helmet, where we had plants before with the earth element of pentacles, now with the air element of swords, we have like wings. Looks like he has beautiful wings coming out of his cap there. We also, if you look really closely, have butterflies that are adorning the horse. So butterflies, very air element driven. The earth, again, down here is yellow, bringing in that air element aspect. And then even the reins have birds. Birds all along. The same thing when we look at the Queen of Swords, when we think of that as being like struggle, animosity, and he also, you can really feel the warrior, the warrior aspect that comes in with him, with the Knight of Swords, that warrior personality, human type. And then with the Queen of Swords, we've got so many of the air elements. First of all, the struggle, animosity, she does not look nearly as happy as the Queen of Pentacles that we were checking out. We've got the bird in the sky. We've got lots of gray clouds. And again, these trees look like they're blowing in the wind. And all the butterflies on her crown, butterflies on her throne. And then these like bird looking kind of like statue feet, which is also like the glyph we were talking about, one of the associations being from mythology. It's like an animal that's part bird. And then this is an angel with the beautiful angel wings. We've got more wings. And then two, look at her cape, garb, royal robe. It's got clouds all over it. So it's like she's wearing the sky and the air even on her. And then underneath that, we have like a light gray. So again, the air element, the ground is yellow. And then the King of Swords, he does not look very happy either. So the animosity, I can kind of see that there. And then we've got birds in the sky again for that feathery element. The trees don't look like they're moving quite as quickly in this picture, or I'm sorry, in this painting. We've got yellow on the ground and then light blue. So the light blue, I look at it as being like still with the sky, but maybe a little bit more of the water mixed in there. But then his throne, again, has all of the butterflies on it, as well as the angels with their wings for the King of Swords. All right, so that's how you can see some of those different representations in that traditional Waite-Smith tarot deck. Yeah, King of Swords, definitely a balanced mind. Yeah, that's quite a face. All right. What do you guys think? Do you have any questions? Anything that stuck out to you or you want to go over from the traditional deck?
No, I just learned a lot. It was
What?
just listening. I said, no, I'm just learning a lot, listening.
Okay. And then, oh yeah, the blanket, right? Yeah, the beautiful blanket, and it has all the different astrological symbols on it. And we'll check that out a little bit more when we go into the individual cards.
Which
The
card are
nine,
you referring to?
the nine of swords.
Mm.
Yeah. So for Scorpios, each suit, tarot suit, is represented by a different fixed astrological sign, and the fixed astrological sign that's associated with the suit of swords, self-gnosis, is Scorpio. So that's why Scorpio is written there. But it is also the beginning of Scorpio season, so happy Scorpio season, everyone.
Happy Scorpio season. We're all here to get deep.
Yep. Okay.
For some reason, that Daft Punk song "Get Lucky" just popped in my head because I'm like, for some reason, my brain was like, it's just Scorpio season is the exact opposite of that vibe. Like that song is very like happy-go-lucky Gemini type energy, and it's just the polar opposite of like, we're not up all night for good fun. We're up all night to figure out the secrets of the universe.
Right, exactly. That's the vibe today.
That is the vibe of Scorpio season. So
Yeah, we were
hallelujah.
I know, I love it. Yeah, we were talking about that, Spencer. So the astrological sign is associated with the time of year that each suit represents. And then the element is different. So the water element is associated with the suit of cups. That's awesome. So Spencer, who's on TikTok, has Sun, Mars, Mercury, and Pluto in the 8th house, Scorpio. Love it.
Sun, Mars, and Pluto?
Sun, Mars, Mercury, and Pluto. Stellium in the 8th.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And it's ruling your chart, that Mars, because Scorpio is your 8th house, and that means your first house is Aries. Or at least whole sign. That's what that would mean. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. Powerful Mars.
I can't determine what time you were born, but that's my logic being backwards.
And then Manda is a Scorpio, Sun, Mars, and Pluto too.
Wow. Lots of Scorpio energy.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
I've got Scorpio.
It's your time to shine. I know y'all don't like to do that, but it's your time. This is coming from a Leo now, so take it with a grain of salt. But
Pisces rising for Brenton, so very spiritual. That's awesome.
it is.
Very metaphysical chart, it looks like.
I was just at the store talking to somebody about their chart, and they're like, "Oh, I know everything. I'm a what was it? It was Pisces Sun, Aries Aries rising with a Cancer moon. And they're like, oh, I know this, I know the moon rules. They were so proud they knew the moon rules Cancer. I was like, that is so cute. I don't, because they looked confused when I said Venus was exalted in Pisces, but clearly they weren't that into astrology. But they were like, but they knew that they had done a really good job looking up their chart, because that guy knew every single Pisces keyword under the sun.
Right.
He had Pisces down pat. You could tell he had done his research on Pisces. So dreamy and spiritual and emotional.
Loner.
Yeah. But Pisces rising, I don't know. The Pisces rising that I'm closest to is such a bad example of a Pisces rising in the sense that the Jupiter is in Virgo. So they're the most dried out version of a Pisces rising you can be.
Right. Not the best representation.
Not the best representation, but certainly a Pisces rising. Like, did this whole long rant recently about how they can't do drugs because they do the hard ones.
Perfect. That's funny.
I was like, oh wow, your Pisces is coming out to play today.
Yep.
Like an hour long, just waxing poetic about how they wish that drugs weren't bad for you. So they could do them, and I'm like, that is such a ridiculous thing to say.
That's funny. So Spencer has Sagittarius North Node, Venus and Jupiter in Libra 7th house, both at 29 degrees. And then Amanda has her Venus in Libra too.
Okay. Wait, that first one was Venus at 29 degrees. Did I hear that right?
Oh, no worries, Bonnie. Over here. I think it's both Venus and Jupiter at 29 degrees Libra.
Oh, that's so interesting. You really should join my server, because I'm very interested in following along how the next few months specifically go for you, like the next 9 months, because we just had a Venus Cazimi right at 29 degrees of Libra, and that would indicate a new cycle in, the Venus area of your chart, your love life, your aesthetic, the way you dress, the way you consume art, what you're enjoying. Like, it's kind of interesting that now that I know astrology, I can look back and be like, oh, this is, like, my Venus return is right around the time my interests change every year. Like, that shift, because, we're kind of into the same things from year to year, but there's a little bit of a shift from this to that. Like, oh, maybe you wear a little bit darker clothes at this point, because maybe you're wearing black because you feel like it's slimming and you put on a little bit of weight, or whatever the case may be. Right. But I have found in practice that your Venus return can really show a shift in how you're spending your leisure time. So, and a Venus Cazimi in Libra itself hasn't happened in nearly 200 years. So there's nobody alive to tell the story. So I'm very interested in seeing how this really beautiful transit, like, lights up your life and brings really cool stuff and people, and maybe you'll learn, I don't know, maybe it's in your 5th house and you'll learn how to make cool stuff. I don't know. But whatever it is, I want to be there when the cool stuff happens.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Spencer said it's in his 7th house. This is Khadijah Spencer. She's in the chat. You'll see her. But she's on Discord right now, because anybody, even if they don't have 1,000 followers, that way she can talk still. And she has her own Discord server that is amazing, that is all about astrology. And that's what she was talking about. And we can invite you to that.
Amazing. That is
We would be happy to invite. There she is. That's Khadijah. That's who was talking. Thank you.
I had to go into TikTok real quick to say hi.
Yeah, perfect.
Like, hi. Love it.
Everything happens for a reason.
Mythology.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm down to go where the spirit takes us, but if you wanted to get back to the cards, we could.
Yes, that's exactly what I
Since
was
he wants
just...
to break down his chart, I'm down, but we did come here for tarot.
Right. That's exactly what I was just thinking, is we could go through the different decks now that we went through the main representations. No worries, Laura. We just went over the main representations, and all of that is in the channel on Discord, so you can download it, and it's just the ones from the spreadsheet, so it's all good. We just looked through the Rider-Waite deck, and we're getting ready to check out the other decks. I think you have perfect timing. We missed you though, but we did miss you. Yes, if you followed Khadijah and Khadijah follows you back, then she can message you where to go.
Oh, okay. And who should I follow? Oh, I see. I'm going to follow you back and... Okay. I'm going to go ahead and... Give me just a second. Did Center want to link to my server or to yours?
Either one. You can do both if you want. Like,
okay.
Since you're there right now.
Beautiful. I'll do that. I'll do that since this first one I'm sending is right now. The server we're in at the moment, which is Val and Drew's server. And then the second one that is to my server, which is an astrology server that primarily focuses on what do you call it? Hellenistic astrology. Sorry.
No worries.
I was trying not to cough.
And Spencer said he's got to make a call real quick, but he'll be right back.
Cool.
All right. Oh. My crystal guy is like, where are you? I'm teaching. We're learning about cards right now, Peter. Calm down. Okay, so here, we'll just look at this deck really quick. Because we already kind of went through these cards. This is the gold foil tarot that has the exact Waite Smith cards, just in a gold foil version.
I think I'm gonna mute and get on TikTok to see your cards because I think I want to see them.
Perfect. Here, I'll start over for Khadijah. Oh, thanks for sharing the live, Vincent. Okay, yeah, so gold foil tarot, I love it. The cards are really slidey, like they're really slippery, which is nice if you're like getting them to fly out for you, kind of, so to speak. They're beautiful. They're actually made out of like a metal foil, so they shuffle. When they shuffle, they sound amazing. And you can see they're exactly like the cards we just looked at. All of those air elements. You can see the struggle and animosity in there. A lot of them too, like even if you think of the different aspects, like the ego being involved, very evident in the cards. Some of the details you can see a little bit better, like not only the butterflies, but then the red birds right below. No worries. Thanks, Khadijah. So the red birds below, you can see that he has birds. These are all birds in the cloak that he's wearing as well. And then the birds in the, we could see that in the other ones. The butterfly, king and queen. All right. So that is that one. Then we have the Ethereal Visions deck by Matt Hughes. And the Ace. See, these are also pastel. They all look like they have so much of that air element to them. The 2. Yeah, the original, I really like having the original Waite-Smith deck. And you can really see how that original Waite-Smith deck had such a heavy influence on the other decks. Like in this, we can really see like almost a close-up of that coffin that was there. I noticed that a lot of modern decks, you don't really get as much of the struggle animosity feel from the swords. But I noticed that like just in modern times in general, I feel like it's like we don't want to upset people. But it's like that's a part of life, you know, there's struggle. You want to be prepared, know it's coming. This one you can definitely feel it a bit more. The 9 of Swords, same like, you know, the yellow blanket and everything. 10 of Swords. The Page of Swords. The Knight. You can still see the bird elements. The Queen, got the bird still. And the King.
I figured out how to talk to you and not have it echo.
Nice. Yes, the weird things of technology. And then the next.
It wasn't even that hard. I should have thought of it before.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it. I've always had like my computer and phone going at the same time, so I was gonna go over the Black Cats Tarot next.
Ooh, kitties. Love to see it.
Yeah, these are so cute. So here's the Ace. You really see that air element. His cape is blowing in the wind. He's blowing the horn. The 2. The 3. We see a lot of water in these cards too, but when you think of the water representing emotion, there's a lot of emotion involved in struggle and animosity. The 4. The Autumn.
It's pretty flower model.
Yeah.
And all the despair, like one cute flower.
Yep. One glimmering piece of hope. And it's a yellow flower, which is the air color.
Yeah.
And then very much of a lot of autumn feel in this. So we've got the season representation coming out.
Yeah.
And lots of the struggle and animosity.
He broke his foot.
I know a lot of these guys are injured in some way. We've got the birds in the clouds. 7. He's definitely struggling to get across from one end to the other. Lots of struggle. The 8. Another one not looking like a great day. The Thoth deck. I like the Thoth deck. But that's part of why we're building up this foundation of what the different suits represent in different throughout history, because that will give us a firmer foundation to interpret different decks on. Like the Cat Tarot even is I would say a little bit harder to navigate than the Waite-Smith. But that might also be because I started with the Waite-Smith. Got the 9 of Swords. The 10 of Swords. And the Page of Swords flying through the air, all the birds. The Knight of Swords.
Oh, a kitty with wings.
Yeah. And the Knight, very much the warrior. Thoughts on Crowley? I've got nothing against him. He had, the Golden Dawn is the same place that the Waite-Smith Tarot came from. They all came from the same place. Crowley was a member of the Golden Dawn, just like Rider, or not Rider, but just like Waite and Smith. So Coleman Smith. The Queen of Swords. I'm sorry. I think I got it mixed up. The Queen of Swords. Oh no, I didn't get it mixed up. This is the Queen. See? And the King of Swords. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Well, and he wanted to go places that the Golden Dawn didn't agree with. But I think both decks are great. I really don't have anything against the guy. Well, I don't have a lot against his ideas, but I think that many people got hurt in the process of his knowing, and I don't agree with that. So the next deck I'm going to go through is Tarot in Wonderland. Swords only. Lots of the air element. And then 2, we've got how the pikes. Yeah, I agree. So with this one, you can really see the pikes from the French suit represented as well as the swords. 2.
Looks like a pen.
3. 4. The 5 of Swords. They really picked like the struggle moments. You can tell the animosity, the 6 of Swords. The not happy times from the story. 7 of Swords. 8 of Swords. 9 of Swords. 10 of Swords. Page. Knight. Queen. King. Yeah, you can see even the court cards, none of them would look very happy. So the next deck is the Herbal Tarot. And the Ace with Chamomile. It's good for like calming down from all those challenging moments. Again, the Passion Flower is another calming herb, the 2. The 3, we've got, what is that? Something root. Let's see, it says something root. I don't know all my flowers. Mullein. I know what that is. The 4.
You're asking what kind of flower that is?
Oh, one of them you can't really read what it says. It's like a red flower. Mistletoe for the 5.
Those flowers look like mandevillas to me. The red ones.
This one starts with a Pleu. I don't know.
Oh, some kind of rose is what it's saying.
Yeah.
Wintery rose or something.
That makes sense.
A root, maybe it says? I don't know.
Vervain. Well, these are all like calming or healing herbs. Wood betony. So that makes sense with like being combating the struggle and the animosity. Black cohosh. Valerian. Another calming root, calming one. Ephedra. So ephedra is the opposite. Ephedra actually like speeds up your heart rate. Gets you going again, which would make sense after somebody stabbed you in the back, you got brought down. Dill for the page. Wild cherry bark for the knight. And lady slipper for the queen. St. John's wort for the king. All healing and calming. Makes sense. Then we have the Darkwood Tarot. Can really see the air elements that they illustrated from the Waite Smith deck in this one. 3, 4. I skipped the 6 somewhere. There it is. I'm like just out of order. 5. 6. 7. The 8. 9. The 10. This is my bedroom, but also my altar room. Thank you, Spencer. I'm glad you like it. Page. The knight. The queen. And the king. Lots of birds. You really catch the air. The emotional like the air and the struggling aspect. So then Orion's Tarot. Got the Ace, more birds. The 2, we got a fish. He does all animals, but the fish, even though it looks like it's got wings almost, I'm like, why did you pick a fish for swords? But anyway, I didn't make the deck. 3. The 4, sloth. The 5, the devil ray or manta ray. The 6, like when the deep sea anglerfish. 7, a black widow spider. The 8, I don't even know what that is. It's like a rodent. We're just gonna say the 8 is a rodent. 9, the centipede. The 10, the jellyfish. These are the kind of jellyfish that destroy coral too. The whole massive, like whole fields of coral will be destroyed by these guys. So you can see how it's a lot of like destructive behavior animals. Page. The knight. The queen, and a lot of, or birds, air element, and the king. Then there's the Witch's Tarot. Got the Ace. The 2, got fairies flying through the air added. The 3, more flying. 4, got a lot of feathers. 5, 6, even on the boat, there's all the dragonflies.
You're already on 6, and I can't even see it on the stream yet. It's so behind.
That's, yep. 7, 8, 9, the 10, the page, lots of birds, the knight, the queen, and the king. Very air elementy. And this is the Tarot of the Divine Masculine, Gate to the Secret Garden. Okay. There's the Ace, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, 10, the page, the knight. They call the queen the keeper of swords in this, and the king.
This deck has my favorite page so far.
Nice. I'm not a huge fan. I don't really resonate much with the Divine Masculine deck, but it's very visual. I know I'll find the right person who needs to have it. Because it is not me. I don't love it. I don't resonate with it. I have it, and I show it for, like, you know, look at these cards. They're very interesting, but I don't read with it.
Got it.
This is the Muse Tarot. The Muse Tarot, they call swords voices. Two. That was the ace. This is the 2. The 3.
With it being the air element, making it voices makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Since air is all about communication.
Yep, exactly. The 4. You know, my favorite deck changes because I'll have a different favorite deck for the moment. I have some that I don't resonate with, some that I don't use often, but I tend to circulate through them a lot. Different ones for different reasons. The 5 of Voices. 6. Yeah, it makes sense. I like the way they named the suits for the Muse deck. The 7 of Voices. The 8. The 9.
I like the lady with the fox head.
Which one? This one. The 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cute. There's the 10. The Page. The Knight. Flying horse, very appropriate. The Queen with all the birds. And the Muse of Voices. And then there we have right in the middle the air element sign, that triangle.
Very cool.
Love it. This one is the Santa Muerte Tarot. I love this deck. So this, I would say, is one of my favorites. I know this is Vincent's favorite. Oh, Vincent is still here. Nice. Okay, this one's your favorite, Vincent. So here's the Ace of Swords. Yep.
Oh, so pretty.
2. The 3. The 4. The 5. The 6.
I have to say, I don't like when I have to count the elements myself. Oh, I see where the numbers are, because I'm like...
Oh, yeah, they're on the side. The 7.
Like, some of them don't say, and I don't like those decks.
I know you have to, like, count the stuff. It's like, yeah. I like it to say somewhere. 8. 9. The 10. The Death Moth. Page. Knight. Queen. King. And then this one is also one of my favorites. This is the Tarot of the Divine. I love this one. There's the Ace. The 2. The 3. The 4.
Ooh, this deck is so lovely as well.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. I love this deck. The 5. The 6.
Sorry, I missed it.
That's okay.
Oh, he came back to
The 7. Yeah, regular. I actually learned originally when I was a kid on a regular deck of cards. 7. That was the first deck I learned on, was just a regular deck. 8. But like I was saying, that's why now we know that the spades all correspond to the swords. So it's like now we can see how that can be done. The 9. The
Does she have on a
10.
fur or is she some kind of hybrid?
Which number?
8.
She's wearing a fur. Yep. You can tell because the eyes of like it looks like a donkey.
Oh, okay. It was just moving a little too fast the first time for me to see the X's on the eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
That's a very interesting card. There's like, did she run away from home? Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's why, like, because we're by the time we get through going to the individual cards, like, we're gonna have so many, like, we're gonna be able to do an hour-long discussion on each individual card because we're gonna have so much background foundational knowledge to back it up, you know? We'll just be able to see so much more. Page. The Knight. The Queen. And the King. Glyph. So glyph is like a griffin. Like this is the same animal. Oh, thank you. The 10 doesn't have 10 swords on my deck. Right. See, that's like Laura's saying, some of her decks, you can't count the elements to find out what number because they don't put the right number of elements on there. It's uber frustrating. There's the
That just seems like downright malpractice.
yeah, malpractice. That's great. This is the Crystal Visions Tarot. This one's really pretty. I love the Ace of Swords card on this.
Ooh.
No
This
diamond.
looks like something someone would get tattooed on them.
Yeah, I really like it. So spades is air. Yes. Hearts is water. Yes. And then clubs is fire. And diamonds is earth.
Think of it like diamonds come from the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta dig them up out the
And
ground.
because the diamonds and the pentacles represent money. Got the Ace of Swords, and see, even on the sword, it's got the wings. The Two of Swords. The 3.
So what is the Two of Swords supposed to mean? She's blindfolded. She's got these two pointy things. Is it just like hyper guarded and don't know what's coming? That's gonna be my. You're just supposed to read the picture, that's what I'm getting.
Well, yes, I would say yes. You are right. That is, and we're not going to go into the full historical interpretations, but yeah, and that's basically it. And you can see how that really is like a struggle, like an inner struggle. You know, when we're just looking at the main suit representation, you can and also the thinking, it really brings in the thinking, struggle, thinking. She's like at war with herself in her mind. Yeah, clubs looks kind of like fire. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then the 5. Yeah, in Laura's deck, the 10 of swords has only 9 swords on it. Two of Swords is so Spencer reads it as like being stuck in a bind. Six of
Okay.
Swords, not with knowing which way to go. And I'm only not going too deep into it because we're going to go into it for like a long time pretty soon after we go through the suits. Then we'll go through the numbers. Well, yeah, it's not immediately because first we'll go through the suits, then we'll go through the numbers. And then after we go through the numbers and the court cards, then we'll go into the major arcana, and then we'll go back through the minor arcana card by card. Seven. So then there's the Seven of Swords, the Eight, the Nine, the 10, the Page, the Knight, the Queen,
Why are more people not here?
and the King.
This is people generally love tarot.
Well, and the way we're doing it, how we're just going through the different cards and visual, and we went over the associations, and now we're looking at them visually to help cement those different associations into our mind using a ton of different visuals, but reminding ourselves and remembering how those different visuals bring us back to these representations. So it can be a very helpful way to learn and really absorb the information. So then I have the Book of Shadows Tarot, As Above, So Below, that has 2 decks with it. And this is another one of my favorite ones. And we'll start with the So Below deck. So these are the pentacles, or I'm sorry, these are the swords from the So Below deck. I really like, she puts a lot of representation into her cards. There's the 2, that was the ace and the 2, and the 3, and the 4, and the 5, and the 6, and the 7, and the 8. Yeah.
All these little devilish little sprites.
Yep. All these flying creatures. And the 9.
Love all the astrology symbols on the back.
Yep.
Albert
10.
Brooke is an astrologer. That's nice.
Yeah. No, but I
That's
always
beautiful.
be washed. I'm sure it's fine. I know. I've never had it. It's good. Yep. Yeah, I love this one too. All of them, really. The Knave of Swords.
It's kind of hard to understand which card is which.
Right? That's why we're seeing how now that we've seen all these different pages, we can see like, oh, okay, this page now, like if we were looking at all the court cards and we knew that we were looking for a page, a knight, a queen, and a king, like you'd be able to tell through the pictures, like, okay, this one, like once we go through the representations, I don't want to give it away yet, but you'll be able to tell for sure. It'll be so obvious by the end. Be ridiculously obvious. Yeah, so the way I look at it, Spencer, when I use the As Above, So Below deck, I shuffle them together. So I'm using 2 78 card decks together as one. And when I get a card from the So Below deck, I look at it as being more associated with their day-to-day life. Everyday life. And when I get a card from the As Above deck, I look at it as being more in regards to like their life purpose, their personality, the bigger picture type stuff. The Queen of Swords. and the King of Swords. So then we will do the as above deck. So this is the same Book of Shadows Tarot, as above, so below, but this is the as above deck. This is the Ace of Air. Here they don't call them swords, they actually call them air. Two of air. I know, I love these two decks. Three of air. Four. Five.
You're getting me in so much trouble. I want these decks. And I don't even
Six.
read tarot like that.
I know, they're so cool. Well, don't worry, we'll post the videos. You can just watch the video.
I'll just
Seven.
rewatch these when I get a hankering for some
Yep.
prettiness.
8. 9. 10. And the elemental or the page. And then the maiden or the knight. And then the mother or the queen. And then the crone in the place of the king. Yeah, all the as above cards have mother, maiden, crone instead of knight, queen, king. And then this is the Light Seers Tarot. The Ace.
I recognize this one.
Yeah, this one's a really popular deck. I like it. It's a very modern looking deck. 2. Like the images invoke a very modern feel. The 3. 4. 5. The 6. The 7. The 8. The 9. The 10. The page. The knight. Queen. See on the flag too, we've got the air symbol. The king. There, you got your little air symbol. Love it.
Him and his man bun.
Yeah. Very modern.
Yes. Very like, this is what, yeah, just very modern dude.
Yeah.
Very
And
of
then
the moment.
the Tarot Illuminati. I think the illustrations in this one are really beautiful. It's like modern style, I feel like the illustrations, but they're like ancient looking scenes. Oh, nice. Manda has the Buddha Tarot, Green Witch Tarot, Tattoo Tarot, Hocus Pocus Tarot, and the Rider Smith Waite. Nice. The Ace, the 2, 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, 7, the 8, the 9, the 10, the page or princess in this deck. This is the Tarot Illuminati. The prince or the knight, the queen. Yeah, this one's, I think that's really nice. There's a lot of detail in the images, which I really like. Because it's like you could stare at the card for a really long time and get a lot of interpretation out of it. And the king.
Very Louis the 14th.
Yeah, the king, very much so. And then Spellcaster's Tarot. I love this one also. We've got the ace, 2.
Amanda asked which one was the last one. Tarot
Yep,
Illuminati.
Exactly. Yep. That's the one.
Ooh, I like her outfit.
Yeah, me too.
I don't
3.
think those shoes are very practical for the weather, but I like her outfit.
Right. The whole outfit not very practical for the weather, but you know, maybe she's acclimated. 3.
Maybe she's what?
Maybe she's acclimated.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
4. I know this guy's barefoot. Then again, it is all about struggle.
Yeah.
The 5.
True. Why is there a fire going in your shoe, bro?
Yeah.
Who did that? There's only you and wolves around. Who put the fire in the shoe?
Right. Let's think about that. 6.
Pandora's box.
7. 8. The 9. 10. The page. The knight.
It's interesting how many suns this author is deciding to put into this suit.
Yes, it's very interesting. Yes, absolutely. The queen and the king. Yeah, and it's all wintry and everything, but yet she puts a lot of suns all throughout.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Wonder why.
I love this one too. This one though, it makes so much better if you have it with the guidebook. A Keeper of Words is the guidebook. Legend, the Arthurian Tarot is the card deck. This is the Ace, Sword of Strange Hangings. So in the guidebook, it'll go through the Arthurian legend of like the Knight of Two Swords for the Two of Swords. Palomedes, 3. Isolde of the White Hands for the 4. Gawain's Penance for the 5. Yeah, me too. It's going to be so fun. And that's the thing, is all this stuff is going to be so like in our brain in so many different ways, we're not even going to have to think about it. The Etra is the 6. The Sword in the Stone for the 7. Guinevere at the Stake for the 8. Lily Maid of Astolat for the 9. 10 is Camlan. The Adder is the Page. Gawain is the Knight of Swords. Morgause is the Queen. And Mordred is the King. And then I have one Lenormand deck because I'm honestly not a huge fan of Lenormand decks. I am a huge fan of pagan things, so I got this one because it's the pagan Lenormand, and they said oracle cards, so I thought they were going to be more oracle cards, but it was very much a normal Lenormand deck. But I thought I would show you because they do have the same suit correspondences. So, I don't know. These are the only... Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a huge Lenormand deck fan. Lenormand decks are basically like a regular tarot deck without all of the major arcana cards.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I just got this one because it said pagan on it, so I thought I'd check it out. I wasn't impressed, but I thought I'd show you anyway. Now, I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments on the decks we went through, or if you have a deck of your own that you would like to show us. We are here for it. We are here for it.